But I still call myself a bride. But anyway, we've got a beautiful, wonderful 2023 bride in the building. And we got Tamilorea in the building. Can I get a round of applause, please? Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Tammy.
Hello.
Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. I'm good, thank you. Welcome to the Bride's Room. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you in the building.
Excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so. First of all, I just want to say how beautiful you looked at your wedding. It was gorgeous. Like, I remember seeing the pictures. I was like, oh my God, this is stunning.
Thank you.
But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about you.
You want me to tell me a bit about me?
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
Okay, my name is Tammy.
Yeah.
I am a 2023 bride. I currently work in HR. And yeah, I didn't really know what else to say, to be honest.
Yeah, just a babe living her best life, and you just happened to get married.
I just happened to get married.
Yeah, lovely. So cool. So welcome to the Bride's Room. We've been having our own conversations, and I think I try to like make each episode like have a theme and like be very like focused, and from just because we've like engaged on like social media and stuff, and one of the topics that came up and I feel like a lot of people resonate with, and I know I definitely resonate with, is like wedding regrets and just like those pain points when planning. Obviously most episodes we just come here to like basically bitch and moan at this point, not trying to be negative Nancy's, but just give the real as to like what goes on behind that beautiful wedding that you had. To me, it was gorgeous. It was stunning. Of course, you know what was meant to happen in your head, but obviously, you know, also reality didn't necessarily match that. So
yeah,
talk to me. How was wedding planning as a whole? When did you get engaged? Let's start with that, I think.
So I got engaged in March 2022.
Okay, cool.
And then my wedding was October 2023, so about a year and a half.
Oh, that's a nice time.
Yeah, but I didn't start planning until a year two, because I was doing a master's and I didn't finish till August. So yeah, until my master's finished, I didn't want to start wedding planning.
No, I understand completely.
Obviously, it was the best thing for the degree, but in terms of timeline, a year, it feels long. It sounds long, but actually in reality, it's not
tight.
that long. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So it didn't feel that long, but how many people were you planning for? And what kind of weddings? I'm assuming you had weddings.
Yeah.
So, what kind of weddings did you have?
So the original numbers I was going for was like, I want to have like 50, 80 people at my trad, and Nigerian parents were obviously like, nope, not going to happen.
You wanted 50 people between two families. And by the way, Sammy, feel free to like interject here as well. I do like to like get like the part. Yeah, exactly. So if it's cap, let us know if it's cap.
Yeah. He was fighting for some numbers. My husband was fighting for some numbers, but they were really fighting to get the wedding bigger.
Okay, so what numbers did we go? So we went from 50, which
to 400.
Hey, for what? The white wedding?
For the trad.
Okay, wow.
And then white wedding, I was probably around the same sort of, I want 80 people, I want 100 people. And then we ended up on 150. So
not bad.
Yeah,
not bad considering you're both Nigerian as well. So that's well done. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. So you did that. So you went from and then did you okay, so just talk me through the process, and I'm just gonna ask questions really.
Oh gosh. So yeah, the trad ended up being 400 people. So it was just, I guess, kind of sourcing our vendors for the ashoke. I kind of left like food, even the venue in the end, to my parents. I was just like, is
that for both weddings or just
no, just the trad. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I took a very different approach from the trad to the white wedding. But the trad, at one point, I just let go and I said, this is not my wedding anymore.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is their wedding, because if I had my way, it would be in a garden.
But you're just doing it to just
just doing it for them to be happier at this point. So I kind of let them pick the food. The band and stuff, they asked me who I wanted. I gave them suggestions. I picked the DJ though for the trad. I really had a hands-off approach to the trad, to be honest.
I get that.
I picked the people who made my clothes, like my first and second outfit. But the white wedding, I was like, no, this is my baby.
Not even
no one had a say in anything.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. So we had our white wedding in Dubai. So
I haven't had a Dubai bride. So that's nice.
Yeah,
my first Dubai bride. I love that.
And that was interesting. Like it has a whole nother layer to it. So first it was like looking for a planner that could plan a wedding out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was interesting. We first spoke to someone who was like saying like, she only works with people of a budget of 100k.
Oh yeah, because it is Dubai, and that's not unrealistic for them, is it?
Yeah, but she wasn't even based in Dubai. She's based in London, and she was saying,
Wait. When you say she was based in London, like, is she within the community?
No.
The community I'm talking about,
like, I would say she's slightly outside of that. The recommendation actually came from my husband's parents, so and she had planned a wedding in his family in Dubai before, which is why she originally made sense. But I wasn't vibing with her at all. So I spoke to a few wedding planners until I ended up on the one that I ended up in, who's based in Dubai, and she was also my decorator. So I don't know what else to say.
Wow. Okay. Well, 100k to now finding your the person that suited your needs. How did you find it planning from the UK to Dubai, and like doing a Nigerian white wedding abroad? Like, what was that like? Like, tell me.
It was interesting. Dubai can be very difficult. So even things like picking the venue, we actually took a trip to Dubai like a year before the wedding, or 11 months before the wedding, to look at venues. We literally spent like a whole week going from venue to venue to venue. We finally picked a venue, and as we were like came back to England and we were trying to sort out contracts to make sure it was all set in stone, we noticed that they started stalling. And I was like, what's going on? I think we had got to January at this point, and they said to us basically that a corporate client is interested in booking that venue, and they're going to get more money from them because they will have all their employees staying in the hotel. So they're obviously going to want to pick the corporate client over us. So it was January, my wedding is October, and we don't have a venue yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that was super stressful.
Heard of a story. Did you hear of that bride that had her wedding?
That's the same venue I used.
You're lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the venue I got married at. Yeah.
And they cancel. So that's just their thing. Like they just go after the money then.
They just go after the money. So the reason we actually got married in Dubai is because my husband used to live there.
Ooh, nice.
So from what he said, that's apparently a very Dubai thing to do. Like,
oh really?
Just where the money's at.
Yeah. I mean, that is like the money land, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, did you grow up in Dubai? This is me just being nosy.
Yeah.
Is it? That's nice.
I lived there for 8 years.
Were your parents expats?
Yeah, they're still there now.
Nice. Like, that's kind of what we're going through now at the moment. Because
really?
we're like an expat family. So I'm like, this sounds very familiar. Nice. Okay, cool. Anyway, sidetrack.
That's fine.
So you got married in Dubai. And was it like sentimental to you guys, or is it just because you just grew up? I'm interviewing, might as well come behind it. But like, do you guys get married there because it was sentimental to your husband, or?
Yeah, so we were picking between Malta and Dubai because Malta was the first place we went on holiday to, so that, cutesy side of it. But then Dubai, because of obviously my husband growing up there, we actually settled on Dubai based on Nigerian visas. Like some European countries, it's more difficult to get a visa for people who live in Nigeria, and that ended up like slapping us in the face because then Dubai actually banned all Nigerians from coming. But it worked out in the end. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow. Okay. So then it worked out in the end. You had your guests. Fantastic. And so you guys picked Dubai. You got to Dubai. Great. What was that process of like, talk to me, what were like the pain points for you? Or what was like the highlight, shall I say? Okay. And you can tell me.
Oh, gosh. I feel like highlights are harder to find than pain points. Pain points, like the list is endless. I would say highlights was the actual day. Like the day was so beautiful. Like it was just like out of a movie. Like I ended up coming down a bit late, as brides do. So the sun was setting as we were outside, and it was just like someone had painted, God had painted the background there for us. It was stunning. Just obviously having all our family and friends out there with us too, and how I got to like see my friends more often, like them being bridesmaids or having to be in communication more often, see each other more often. I would say that's probably one of the most beautiful parts of the process for me. And to be honest, me and my husband didn't have any like arguments planning the wedding. It was nice to actually see like how we could be in each other's corners when it came to like everybody. It was basically everybody against us.
So at least that's real. That's like a very bright green flag that you're marrying the right person. So
absolutely,
that's really good.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys, you did that. It was beautiful. Talk to me about the realities, because obviously we now know this is the bride's room. So I'm glad I've built a reputation, and we know we're going to talk the real. And I really want you to give us the real. So behind those beautiful Instagram pictures, like I said earlier on, what was life? What was life for Tammy like in 2022 to 2023?
Interesting. I always say wedding planning is extremely ghetto, and I'm a planner. Like I like planning things. Like I'm a typical eldest daughter, but wedding planning tested me like no other. Like the amount of people you're having to deal with, I think, was the biggest challenge. So if I give an example, so if I focus on my white wedding and I give an example of even things like the venue and like picking the food, that had its own challenge because they're in Dubai as well. Like there's a time difference, there's all sorts of things that are kind of making things more difficult. There's employees changing at the hotel. Like it's very typical to get married at a hotel in Dubai. So we have agreed one thing with one person, then the employee changes, and then they're like, no, we don't do that. We're having to make the agreement all over again. Me personally, with things like my hair and makeup, I said, I'm not giving anyone a free holiday to Dubai. Nobody's doing Dubai life on my wallet. So I refused to fly anyone out there. That was just something I I knew that I was going to do from early, that I should be able to find someone to do these things out there. Ooh.
Oh, so you refuse to fly anyone from the UK?
Yeah, like a vendor from the UK out to Dubai.
Yeah, no. How was that?
It was challenging.
Really?
It was challenging for sure. You would think, oh, Dubai, like,
There's a lot of black people.
There's loads of black people that can do hair and makeup. But no, I quickly found there's like a small circle of people that can do these things. And I was really finding it hard to like agree on someone who could, for example, with my hair, someone who could do styling but also do an install properly. Like, it's either I find a really good stylist who's worked with all sorts of Dubai celebs, or I find someone who can do an install and they have no clue how to do like an updo, because I wanted an updo, and I was quite particular on the type of updo I wanted. That actually like fell flat on its face, including up until the day of the wedding day. So I had booked someone to do my mum and the bridesmaids installs, and I had booked a stylist, and she had said I can do installs, even though there wasn't that many installs on her page. So I was a bit skeptical. She assured my planner, she assured me I can do installs. Okay. On my wedding day, please tell me why she brings out Got To Be spray and the Got To Be glue.
The white one. Yellow.
Yeah, the yellow like glue gel thing. Jesus. And the yellow spray.
And the black one.
Nothing else. No bond glue, no wig cap, no bands to hold the lace down. She used my bonnet to try and hold the lace down. I was asking her, even when she brought it out, like, is this gonna work in Dubai here? I wouldn't even use that to like
in the UK. Exactly. And it's always cold in the UK.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm getting married outside in the sun.
And I've been to Dubai. I know how hot it gets. Like, I'm sure a lot of people that watch has probably been to Dubai as well. Like, it gets hot.
Yeah. So I let her try and do it. I don't know what was going through my head this day. I had been listening to gospel, so I was trying to be at peace. I let her try and do it. It was awful. Like, the lace was like grey. Even how she like cut the lace, she just cut it anyhow. Like, luckily I had got someone from the UK to like customize the lace for me and like make the wig, so she didn't have to do that. First of all, she was late, so if she had to do that, we would have been super late.
Yeah.
I was in floods of tears when I saw it. They had to call the stylist that did my mum and the bridesmaids' hair. They had already like left the hotel. They had to call them back to install the wig. They took off the wig, they washed the wig, and they had to reinstall it.
Wait, who did they call back? Sorry,
the people that installed the bridesmaids' hair and my mum's hair. They had to call them back to do the install. Then she could do the styling. But I was so particular about this, and she was like, "I can do it."
But she couldn't.
She had no clue.
Oh my god,
she had no.
So
clue.
what was that all about? Why lie? It's a wedding. Maybe she's just excited. It's a
and
UK
she
booking.
took full payment.
Yeah, of course, she's probably excited. Of course, they would take full payment.
You didn't deliver the service. But that happened accidentally. But yeah, like,
that is so mad. I will say that I can appreciate that, despite like everything people say about like when it comes to like the beauty industry within the black community in the UK. I will say when we do have some really good talent.
They know what they're doing.
I think they are actually. I think even that they are actually industry standard globally, and I don't think we even realize that. Yeah, because like for myself, I live in a different part of Europe now, and that's my struggle right now is to find someone that does like hair, nails, lashes, all of that. And it's like in the UK, like literally one quick search, and I find hundreds of people. That are good. Exactly. I mean, the customer service might be a bit, I can't, but the talent is there, and I think that is something that we do sleep on. So yeah, I can imagine how you as a UK person, where you have access to like hundreds of black babes, like just doing like all these beauty things, going to Dubai and then realizing, I'm in Dubai.
Yeah. But it's not cheap to like pay for someone's flight, pay for someone's hotel for a few days, and like. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah,
like, a wedding in itself is already super expensive. Yeah. So I was like, I have to find someone out there. But yeah, definitely had its downside.
It didn't work out to how you thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, my hair was beautiful, but there was a lot of tears on my wedding day, which was not nice.
That is so sad. And we spoke about Dubai, beauty, floods of tears. That's not it. That's not it, and I'm sad. I'm sad to hear that, but I think it's really. I don't don't want to say it's nice because it's not nice for you, but I think it's really good that a bride that probably is now planning to get married in Dubai thinking, I want to do that. Maybe I should fly someone out. Maybe I should sponsor this person to go to Dubai, you know, if the hair and beauty part of it is you know, what's on their mind, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing, but I'm sorry that you went through that.
That's okay.
And then what else? We were talking about something else earlier on.
Wedding dress.
Okay, wedding dress.
Yeah, that was another interesting experience. So initially when I was looking for a wedding dress, I was kind of just going to like normal bridal stores, and the dresses were nice, but I was quite particular about what I wanted because I've got big boobs.
No. I get you.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes a dress will work for one part of my body, but not
the
work
rest.
for another part of my body. So I was like, okay, I think I actually have to get a dress made so I can tick all the boxes. So I found someone that could make my dress. Initially, things were good, and then
we went left. Oh god.
So I feel like my whole dress experience wasn't the greatest either. I didn't have that kind of like last appointment where you're like family and friends can come and like, you know, see the dress.
Big reveal and be like, no, I never got that. If that makes you feel better, but, I mean, that shouldn't.
Why didn't
but
you have that?
I was a COVID-ish kind of bride, so like I just wanted a dress. Just give me something to wear and walk down that aisle. And I'm okay. So I got robbed of that, but I was still happy that I did at least had a wedding. So you know. But no, I think. Sorry. Let me let you continue with your...
was like, I would literally sometimes be at work and just be in floods of tears over this dress because I just wanted it to turn out right. But it's like every time I was like trying to make amends because it was a custom dress. Like if I said like, oh, the material's like creasing here, maybe where they've put bead in, it would just be met with like so much hostility. And this is like your wedding dress. Like it's like the dress. It just wasn't the greatest experience. But on the day, again, it kind of worked out. It was a beautiful dress. There were certain things that I perhaps would have still tweaked, but it was a beautiful dress.
Can I see your dress, please?
Can you see it?
Yeah, can I see?
Oh,
have you got a picture? Because I wanna be able to visualize what it is that you're talking about.
you can kind of just see the pictures from.
Oh, I can see, like, without even like tapping into it, it looks so... Oh, I remember your dress. This is so pretty. So, like, what things did you want to, like, tweak?
So, so not in terms of the design, but basically the bottom of my dress felt see-through. Like, you can see where the lining ends in the dress. And, like, in certain pictures, you can actually still see that. So that was the main thing that I would have tweaked, like, going forward. But, like, even to do, like, how you see the dress now, that wasn't how it was looking like throughout the process. So there was a lot of, like, adjusting the ruffles. I had to be bigger, smaller, higher, lower. The beading to, like, where I said where it was, like, creasing the dress. Like, I had to, like, be like, we need to adjust the beading so the dress is not like scrunched up underneath it. But a lot of things that just felt like, oh, this is part of the process of having a bespoke or custom made dress. It was like pulling teeth.
No, I didn't. To be fair, I wasn't fortunate enough to have a bespoke dress, but I completely understand exactly. Actually, no, but my trial dresses were bespoke technically. So I get what you're saying in terms of like you wanted to work with your designer. You just wanted to work with them. Yeah. Put it that way. Like, literally just like, let's like... Yeah. I give you an idea, you give me an idea. Yeah. Like, okay, this is great. But the reality is, it's just like, I guess they're just trying to pump in, one out.
Yeah, and it's not like, I'm trying to change the
So you're design. Just adding to her workload, basically. Like, sorry for being a bride.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, but it's just like, this is important to me. It's of sentimental value. And it's of monetary value. So... I want it to be right, and I want it to be what I want to make me happy, basically. So, again, that wasn't...
It wasn't met with happy smiles. But why is it always our wedding dresses? Like, what is it with us women and our wedding dresses? Because it seems to be the one thing that always, like, stresses us. It seems to be the one thing that we're like, no, it needs to be... It must be this way. And, like, probably, like, I've done at least 5 interviews now where, like, if it's not the trad dress or the white wedding, whichever one,
the
one of these dresses is making somebody cry. Why are we getting to the point where like we're actually crying over a dress when you think about it?
I think there's so much
what is,
pressure.
Yeah, what is that emotion? Like, talk me through that.
There's pressure as a bride to look good. Like, all eyes are on you. Like, for your guests, for your husband. Like, there's so much pressure for you to look good. And like, for me, I love clothes in general.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's an expectation. People think, oh, you like clothes anyway. So like, can't wait to see what your wedding dress is going to be like.
And I think that is the problem, you know. I think it's like, people are like, oh my God, you like this. So, oh my God, your wedding is definitely going to be this. And so people already, because I guess technically what you're saying is that you have a high standard for your life in the fashion department. Let's say that.
Maybe.
And people are like expecting like, no, this dress is going to be. So you two are even thinking, people are going to be watching, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like people shouldn't live like that, or shouldn't have to live to that standard where like, you know, you're being reduced to tears. But obviously it's clearly meaningful to you anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if you did get emotional about it, which you did.
Yeah.
But it all worked out in the end, kind of.
Yeah, it all worked out in the end. I mean, I look at the pictures and I smile. I don't get angry.
That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And was it because you had a good photographer that was able to like edit out the certain bit?
Not even that, but my photographer was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he was amazing. You know how I said I didn't fly anyone out? That's the only person.
Who was it?
Deji. Deji Lowell.
Oh, okay. I don't know him.
He's
Nelson's
amazing. Like, personality wise and just like work wise, just amazing. And yeah, I'm very big on like just how the person treats you and like responds to you. And yeah, he was lovely. So I didn't have any issues.
Oh, that's good. And his work was good as well.
His
So
work was
obviously
amazing,
it erased all those creases. All those problems that you were thinking about. So no, that's really, really good. And how was the wedding in Dubai? What was that experience like for someone that is considering getting married in Dubai?
Yeah.
What would you tell them? Would you tell them to do it? Like, what's your advice?
Yeah, I mean,
tell the truth.
No, married in Dubai, I know there's been horror stories, but yeah, getting married in Dubai was beautiful for us. It did have its hiccups, like I said, like there was loads of things that I think would be a lot simpler in the UK to sort out. Like, one thing to consider is that you need like an alcohol license. If even though you're using a hotel, you need a license to serve your guests alcohol. Luckily, my husband's parents live in Dubai and they have an alcohol license, so are able to use theirs. But if you don't have anyone that lives in Dubai, that's now an additional layer on top. So it has its complications from a logistical
question. And would you say it's more complex because it's a Muslim country as well? And obviously alcohol, Islam, like it's not really...
I'm not sure if... I guess that would be the reason why you need like a license in a hotel. But other than that, I don't think...
In Dubai?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think... Yeah, I think that's the only way it impacted the wedding, I would say. But even that, luckily for us, it wasn't that much of an issue. But it is something to think about and consider. My wedding planner ended up being good, but even then, sometimes there was a lot of miscommunication between us. I'll give you an example of something that happened with my Dubai makeup artist. She charged me a fee and then she sent me a PayPal link to send her the payment, but PayPal takes a fee from the payment. So she was saying I need to pay her more. So even when PayPal reduces the fee, and I'm like, that's not fair.
But that happened to me in the UK. I've gone through that in the UK. They're like, yeah, you need to pay for that. And it's like, no, I don't. That's between you and PayPal. Go talk to them.
Like, I've had a business before, and when I used PayPal, I wasn't charging my customers what PayPal took from me. But that became a back and forth between us. Luckily, again, my husband's parents live in Dubai, so I was able to put the money in their bank account and they can transfer it to them. But again, not everyone would have that, so luxury. That's something to consider. If you're paying multiple people, you're paying all the fees on top of that potentially.
Wow, that's very mad. And it obviously depends. I would imagine the more money you spend, the bigger the fee on top.
Yeah, because it's a percentage.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is so wild. But the thing, so we've spoken about your dresses. We've spoken about getting married in Dubai. just the whole process of even just making the dress, your hair and your makeup. Yeah, that was mad. Flying friends over and stuff. Was that easy? Was that straightforward?
It was the Nigerian visas that were the issue.
Yeah,
Luckily, again, we had like some connections. So
Oh, that was sorted. That was
Yeah.
easy.
our guests, we didn't ask them about their flights.
Oh yeah.
They came.
That's my belief. You guys are like me. Like I really oh, maybe we should talk about this first. Actually, because you're a destination bride as well. So I'm like, no, but anyway, I'll talk about it anyway. I'll ask you a question. I don't think it's even that deep of a question, but I've had friends that get married and it's like, oh my God, like we need to like basically baby the guests. If you can go to like, I don't know, DLT Malta and find your way around the country, I'm sure you can find your way to my wedding.
Yeah.
That's how I think. But then I feel like I know people personally that like, actually, no, these people are leaving their house for me. So I need to ensure that like everything is like, they basically handhold them through the process.
Yeah.
From how it sounds like you guys didn't do that, but like, looking back, would you have done more of that if, let's say, the budget was bigger? Like,
we were in the middle, so we were not of the business of hand-holding our guests. We put on our website, these are the recommended dates. We got a hotel with a discounted rate. We said, this is the link to book the hotel with the discounted rate. So yeah, they will kind of be in a hotel together, have a cheaper rate. When it came to like getting to Dubai, it's one of those places it's easy to get around. Like, we did not organize any airport shuttle or transfer. Like, if people knew people and they wanted to pick them up from the airport because they got there before, fine, but we didn't arrange any of that. We obviously had a pre-wedding dinner. We covered the food and drink for that. But some people were asking about transport to the pre-wedding dinner, and we were like, no.
But how far was it? Like in a separate venue from like where you were staying in?
It was in. We were in a separate venue for the pre-wedding dinner. It was a restaurant, but it was like 20 minutes away from where the hotel was. It's not a long journey. Like, nowhere in Dubai is even that far away from each other. So it wasn't like a particularly long journey. The cab would be affordable to get there. And yeah, on the day of the wedding, we organised transport to and from the venue. So,
which is like that. I think that's a fair balance. It's kind of like, okay, let's not like, we can't kill ourselves with this wedding stuff, but at the same time, you're still hosting to like a reasonable degree, I would say. And I think that's something that people struggle to. I mean, I think it depends on who you are as a couple, really. I think sometimes some people overdo it so much to the point where the guests kind of even have their own itinerary, and now you've come with your own plans of like. Because some people, there's a lot of people that go on destination weddings and they make it a holiday for themselves. But I find sometimes some couples, like, they feel so bad that people are like flying out for them. They like got a heavy itinerary like every single day. And I almost feel like you don't really need to do that. Because that's just something like, literally, you need to focus on the hair, the makeup, the dress. Are you going to have a cake? All that kind of stuff. We were 100% grateful for everyone who traveled out. Like, Dubai is not next door. So we were super grateful. But like, the wedding itself is the main event, and like, we put a lot of effort into that so guests could have like a good experience coming to that. But we also like, one thing I did get my bridesmaids to help out with, and some of the groomsmen helped out with, was like things you could do like the couple days before or the days after. So I think like the day after, we all went to a beach club together and stuff like that. But it wasn't like super mandatory, fun, like and it wasn't mandatory. Some guests came, some didn't. So oh, that's lovely. Oh, well, it sounds like you had a nice wedding. And this is the question that I now start asking all my brides when they come into the bride's room. So if you were to speak to Tammy all those years ago, before she had a boyfriend, now husband, what advice would you give her now that she's about to like embark this whole like wedding planning journey? Obviously you're a year into like marriage, but like, what advice would you give your younger self knowing you're about to get married?
I think I would give myself this advice for anything, not just marriage, but I learned it especially during the wedding process, is to trust my gut when it comes to people, when it comes to decisions, about anything, to trust my gut, like your intuition. You know, I'm a Christian, so God's voice, like you feel it impressing on you, listen to that. Anytime I ignore that, I regret it. So yeah, trust your gut. You might, like, for example, with a vendor, everyone that has used them has said they're amazing, but for some reason when you meet them, you might not mesh with them, but you're like, oh, they're amazing, so I'm just going to go with them. Don't do that.
Yep. Don't do it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Let's talk about that briefly. Go on. Okay, talk to me about comparison, because that's an interesting one, and I think that's something that, like, it happens, but we just don't talk about it, and I don't think I've ever spoken about it either at all.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Oh, there's so much to say on this, because as a bride, you're often like on social media for like inspiration, which is completely fine. That's like really normal. You want to pull inspiration from different places. You want to see what works well for you and your taste. But I feel like, especially in the planning process, it can become very overwhelming very quickly, because not everybody's budget is the same, for example. And you're like, then thinking, oh no, my wedding's not gonna have, I don't know, like flowers, like ballerinas falling from the sky or something,
fireworks,
you know? And it doesn't mean that your wedding isn't still beautiful. Like, what matters is the union. And that sounds so cliche, because who doesn't want a beautiful wedding? Yes, like everyone wants a beautiful wedding. I was particular about having a beautiful wedding. But yeah, the beauty looks different to everyone. And it looks different to everyone. And just, remember what you're doing it for. But even after you get married, still looking at other people's weddings. And now it almost feels like worse, because it's like you can't go back and change it now. You're done. It's over. No, it's over. I
completely understand exactly what you're saying about that. And I feel, I just agree. I agree with everything that you're saying. Like, I have definitely looked at other people's weddings and been like, wow, that's so beautiful. I wish I put more effort into that area of my wedding. Like,
exactly.
I wish I did this. Like, I wish like I still had the energy to do that. But then I always have so many people being like, your wedding was literally so beautiful. So this, so that. Like, it's an interesting one.
It is.
It's an interesting one. And I don't know if it's just human nature. I think it's okay to compare, but then, okay, when would you say it gets to the point where like you seriously need to check yourself and like just pause for a second? Like, at what point do you realize, okay, this is actually becoming a little bit unhealthy now?
Yeah. When it starts to affect you, like, emotionally, I'm not saying you're going to break down in tears, but when you're when you're like, you know, just feeling bad about what you have, I think that's when it's like a dangerous game. Like, for inspiration, yes, but yeah, especially when your wedding is over, you should just, easier said than done, but like, make peace with it. Like, you had a beautiful day, especially if you enjoyed yourself on the day. Like, try and remember those feelings you had on the day, and that is good enough. Like, someone's always going to have a beautiful wedding, and it could be completely different to yours and still gorgeous. But yeah, you've had your time, you've made the best decisions that you could at the time. Like you said, there's certain things I'm like, oh, I wish I did that, but I knew by the time I got to the end of that planning process, I was done, I was out, I had no more energy for details. So I worked with what I had at the time
and call it a day. But then, okay, what about like the things that are sentimental to you? Because I think, okay, so I remember the day after my white wedding in Mykonos, woke up the next morning and immediately like burst into tears. Literally, like straight away, like woke up and I was just like crying my eyes out, like, oh my God. I also will blame some of it on pregnancy hormones as well, because I was pregnant, but I didn't know at the time. But I woke up and straight away I was just crying, and I was just like, I didn't get my fireworks. My dinner was indoors. That was it defeated the whole objective of me even like getting married abroad. And they're just like little things that nobody would have noticed, but I noticed them. I noticed them. And I think sometimes it kind of hurts when like you speak to somebody else and like they got everything that like you knew, like, I planned to have this. I just didn't get why was I the unlucky one? So I think it's easier to like say, okay, just like make peace with it. But like, how? How do I do that?
Because you can't go back. That's the reality. If you don't make peace with it, you still can't go back. It sounds really harsh, but you just you can't. Obviously, there can be other ways to like celebrate your love in the future. Like, I've learned lessons. this is going to sound really silly,
Yeah.
but like, I didn't have like flowers in my aisle, so I just had like a white walkway.
Yeah.
And guests were served like drinks as they were like getting settled for the ceremony.
Yeah.
As you can see me walking down the aisle, in the photos, you can see cups and bottles. That bothers me.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. And yeah, I've learned a lesson. If I do something in the future, that's a piece of detail I would pay attention to, or tell my planner or coordinator to pay attention to. You learn lessons from it, and you just gotta keep it pushing.
That's a tough one, and I don't know if people are going to agree. Let's see what the people say after this. But I know, even just like from speaking to people on Instagram and stuff, and people with like 9 years deep into the marriage, and they're still holding on to what the decorator did not.
Do you know, I get it.
But I think we've kind of found our tribe here in the bride's room. So I do feel like me listening to you is actually therapy for me. It's kind of like, actually, you know what? I'm not alone. Because at the time, I just felt so unlucky.
No.
Of course, it would be me that has the rubbish weather. Of course, it would be me. My MC comes at flipping 11 p.m. Like, do you know? Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yes. Of course, it would be me.
No.
So I just felt very unlucky. But then through speaking to other people, I guess even just this podcast in itself is just therapy, because how many times have we heard, the dress didn't do this, or the plate didn't look like this, or the cups were like that, and you know? So like you said, I think that's a really good piece of, like, you literally can't go back, sis.
Yeah.
Or bro.
Yeah. It is unfortunate, because there are those niggling details that do get to me. Like, I'm human.
Yeah.
Like, they do get to me. Even the comparison point, the only reason I'm speaking on it is because I felt that before. Like where
heavy.
I'm like, oh no, I should have had this. And then I'm looking back like, no, but this was beautiful. Yeah. And I felt great on the day despite it all. So I should focus on that, really.
Yeah. I know. But at least you play it out, and even just like admitting to yourself, actually, this isn't actually necessarily a good thing, but I'm learning to live with it. I think that's the first step in the right direction anyway. Yeah. And I am joining you on that journey as well, and accepting that it's done. Okay. And
it sounds so harsh.
Exactly. It sounds harsh, but at the end of the day, the objective is to get married to the person that you love and build a life with them. Yeah. That whole wedding part is just a celebration, really. So, yeah. Well, Tammy, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me in the bride's room.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. I really, really love this episode. I feel like it's reassuring. I feel seen. Speaking to you today, I feel really, really seen. And I hope as well that this episode, somebody else somewhere is watching this, feeling validated in their thoughts and their feelings as well. Because, you know, sometimes as well, like as women, like you're trying to explain it to a man and he'll literally be like, what exactly are you talking about? Like, I remember when I woke up, my husband was literally like, we literally just spent how much money and you're crying. Like, are you being so for real right now? Yeah. And obviously he couldn't really understand the feeling, but like, I'm sure that I've got a tribe of people that understand. So yeah. Thank you for joining me in the bride's room. And guys, until next time, see you next time in my next episode. Bye.
Cool. Oh, thank you, babe.
Thank you for your honesty.
Thank you. I hope it was okay. I wasn't too, I don't know.
Well done.
No, it was.